It's Ilahi Mohit Chauhan. What a fabulous tune, and definitely one to have on your travel road trip kind of playlist, and that's perfect for our conversation today. You're on Radio 44. I'm Malika, and if you're just joining us, well, you're right on time for a brilliant conversation with Dr. Singara Vadivel, a motorcycle adventurer who's currently riding across Africa on his BMW R1250 GSA. And of course, the Global Motor Rider YouTube channel documents his journeys, and it's really something to check out. So, Dr. Vadivel, just kicking things off, you started in a farm family in India. You had no computer access till 20 years old. You had then a PhD in the USA, and then a 35-year Silicon Valley career. What inspired you after that whole trajectory to leave it behind at 58 years old for a global motorcycle adventure starting all the way from Texas?
Yeah, it's pretty loaded question because I try to compress it. As you mentioned, I'm from an extreme poor family. My parents are uneducated farm labor. I am the elder son of 6 kids. So childhood days were bare minimum and struggled to have even a basic meals. So I finished my high school from my village, and that's the norm. All those people will settle, then join the labor force. I got the same pressure. But I refuse to accept my limitation. I hate to be poor. So I wanted to change it, but I don't have many means. The only option is to study. So I decided to continue my education to high school. It's a 12-kilometer barefoot walk. So I finished my high school, and then I again wanted to continue. I went to university, and then master's. I finished as an university topper. But this journey is not easy. I got help from some kind-hearted people, everything bare minimum. And I got my first shoe when I went to university. So that's the level of life I had. And then I went to US. How I went to US, I need 3 hours to talk about. But I made it. I did my PhD. I got my job in one of the dream company, Bell Laboratories, as a scientist. And I had an opportunity to work with all the technology that we are using today: digital telephony, wireless, internet, laser, all those things. Then the technology evolved in 2000, and internet came, e-commerce, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, everything comes. Then I joined Microsoft and the Microsoft subsidy companies. My technical journey started with the newer technology. Then I had to focus on taking care of my family. Remember, I said I have 5 siblings next to me. So it's a long way to go because I have to bring them from a rock bottom. The people always judge you the height where you are, but they have to remember the depth where you come from. So it took another couple of decades to bring my family to the normal level. So if I divide my life into 2 parts, the childhood and student and the professional career, I had everything bare minimum, so much responsibility, and life was extremely simple. I never had anything what I really wanted to do. So after settling everything, I look back, I didn't live my life at all by the time I reached 45 plus. Then I started doing everything what I like to do: playing cricket, tennis, taking photographs, traveling around the world and visiting national park. And motorcycle was one of them that I never had a chance to ride. So at the age of 50, I went to India to learn motorcycle.
Wow.
And my nephew and niece said, "Uncle, come on, it's danger at this age and you are trying to do."
Yeah.
So I learned at 50, and then I ride around for a few weeks in India and Tamil Nadu specifically. I'm from Tamil Nadu, the extreme southern end of India. I returned alive, and there was some close call, but that journey almost changed my plan of riding. I felt it's not a motorcycle riding, not an adventure, not a thrill. It is a therapy, and it is a meditation. It is an inner journey through outer journey. That was my theme. Then I went to US. I bought a bigger bike. I started riding around US to check whether my body condition and everything, how it works. I made a 1-week trip, 10-day trip, and then 15-day trip kind of thing. I enjoyed. Then I said, it's a one world, one life. And what I'm going to do? Yes, I reached Silicon Valley. I was top in some particular technology. If I continue this journey, I may be in comfort, like in a comfort level. I have everything what I needed. The word needed is a bold and underlined. if you live in the need list, there is plenty of peaceful life that you can make it. But as soon as we started looking for the want, then you always need something. So I said, I have enough. So I decided to leave and then explore the world. And that is a very difficult decision, because you are 30 plus years in Silicon Valley technology journey. You had fame, you had money, you had the comfort, the sense, everything. And then one day you are going to leave everything. You are jobless, you are homeless, you are aimless, you are nothing.
To walk away from that, I mean, I'm sure it took a lot of interior work and, to really evaluate so much of your own self, your values, your future, your present. And especially, like you said, it was about bringing your family up towards something that was the quality of life you were improving as well for everybody. What was that one little doubt that kept nagging at you that was harder to shake when you made the decision?
My age, I'm 58 years old. And then the project that I was thinking, it is really an epic journey. There are people who went around the world, but my situation is very, very different. I'm a beginner. I just learned motorcycle and I'm 58 and I plan to ride with a very large bike. CSA is 1250cc heavy bike and I'm planning to travel solo. So all these criteria was a little bit intimidated and there is so much of unknown. I have watched many people's YouTube video when they were traveling. So I started preparing mentally, physically, logistically and financially. And then once I started my travel, I realized my preparation was not even 10%.
It really had to be rubber meets the road for you to know what it truly is. And like you say, when you're on the road, it's almost this spiritual, experience. What does that feel like when there's nothing around you, just road, just you, and one destination very far away that you have to get to? What does that feel like?
As I said, at the journey, I didn't start it as an adventure, not for record, not for fame, and not to prove anything to anybody. I don't have to prove anything. So then what is it? Why you want to leave your comfort zone? Why you want to leave your family? Why you want to take such a risk? As I said, it is an inner journey through outer journey. As you mentioned, I make it like it is a spiritual journey. I cannot sit and do a meditation for 2 hours, 3 hours or 4 hours, but I can convert my 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, even 15 hours of ride, majority into a meditation.
Wow.
So obviously, that what are all the benefit of having your meditation. So all my incessant thoughts coming into my mind is completely shut. Me, my bike sound, the road, and then the surrounding. That is very, very spiritual.
Amazing. We're going to carry this conversation on. But on that note, is there a song better than this one to describe that feeling? A very good morning to you. You're listening to The Vibe. It's 29 minutes past the hour of 8 on the clock. And let me tell you, I can be seated here for hours on end with my guest, Dr. Singara, because the insight is just brilliant. So like I said earlier, cycling, motorcycling across the world. How did you, first of all, prepare your BMW R1250 GSA for the multi-year journey across the Americas first and now Africa? How was that process of prep?
So once I decided to go for this epic journey, I started watching many travelers who are already traveled. And I know that I cannot copy them because it's not something that you can imitate. It is unique to you. So with my age, my first thing is which bike I'm going to start with. There is a couple of reasons. I had a BMW already. After I learned motorcycle, my first bike is a BMW, but it is a luxury cruiser that cannot be used for an adventure around the world. But I am familiar with the BMW. And then there are few bikes similar to that GSA, 150 GSA. My first criteria, that is comfort. There is no ideal bike for a world tour. The ideal bike is a lightweight, cheap, very reliable, easy to maintain, and it is powerful with a lot of comfort. There is no such a bike exist in the world, unfortunately. And then what you need, what is your compromise, what is your priority?
Yeah.
That comes into picture. With my age, with my beginner, I'm a rookie, my top priority is that it's going to be multi-year. Every day I'm going to ride like a few hours to 10 hours and even 15 hours. So I have to make sure the bike can be comfortable for me. So this bike is one of the comfortable bike in the world right now. So that is my top priority. But the compromise, it's huge, very heavy, very expensive. Getting support from BMW is a nightmare. But you have a priority. If you miss the priority, and if I have the other factors which is covered, then within 8 hours, if I have a back pain, then I may need to quit the journey.
Right.
I may not be able to continue.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of compromise, and then based on my top priority, that's how I prepared the bike for this journey. And then the remaining, are you going to stay all the time in a hotel? Are you going to camp? Are you going to cook? What is your preference? Are you planning to visit only the tourist place? Or are you going to extreme off-road? Are you going to interior villages to see the community? That makes the other preparation what you need to carry. But I have to tell you that the day I started my journey from Texas and now, oh my God, I'm really, really afraid that such a stupid thing that I started with that much luggage, with that minimal experience. Now I'm really scared. But I'm survived. I'm alive. It's a everyday learning.
So every day you just wake up and say, it's one mile at a time. Let's see where it goes. And you've done 58 countries across the Americas, I believe, and 37 in Africa. Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah, that's true.
Okay, so when you were doing your Africa tour, what was the most thrilling section you've tackled in the continent?
Oh my God. I really don't know, because in Africa last 10, now 11th month, except death, I have faced every possible problem that you can imagine. Murphy's is in full action in my journey. I got malaria, I got food poisoning, I got viral fever, I got heat stroke, I got cardiac arrest situation, I got arrested, I got accident, I don't have food, my visa got denied, I enter into a terrorist situation, and there is no road, and you name it. My bike broke in the most dangerous place. You just name it. The situation that I have faced, 99% of the people, or even 100% of the people would have quit the journey by now.
Wow.
So, Africa, I'm not upset. I'm not angry with anything that unpleasant things happen to me. It transforms me. The one word that I would put, the journey is total transformation.
I mean, I can imagine after everything you've named. And, being solo on the road, and we were discussing this a little bit off air, versus riding with a couple of people or a crew. How have you chosen to do it solo, and have you had any companions here and there as you went along?
I wanted to remind one incident. I was crossing into from Angola to Namibia. Mm-hmm. The border closes at 6 o'clock. And it's a long ride, but the last leg of the journey, nearly 40 kilometers, is an extreme off-road in a national park. So I didn't know that. It's a national park and it is off-road. I went into that. There was elephant crossing and everything. I ended up with waiting for 15 minutes the elephant to cross. I was traveling alone. At around 5:15 or something, 6 o'clock, the border will be closed.
Right.
I really don't know how the road condition is. I was so scared. And then there was a sandy patch. I dropped my bike. If I drop my bike, I cannot lift by myself. I need 3 people. And the border is going to be closed. It is in the middle of national park. I have no idea whether I'm going to get a help or I'm going to make it. The worst case, I may end up with staying whole night in the national park alone, and then wait for the next day to get a help. And then the timing is running out, the border may close. It was really thrilling.
I can't imagine. I can't picture being in that scenario. I would just sit and cry. I would sit in a corner and cry.
I mean, I don't have food. I'm almost running out of water. I have a tent, Worst case, I can set up a tent. But it is not a formal campsite. It is middle of jungle where I have seen a lot of animals crossing.
Did somebody help you?
Then after 10, 15 minutes, I was thinking the cell phone not working.
Yeah.
No signal. Luckily, the park ranger, the forest ranger, they came up with a jeep because they are going for a final round. The border is another 15 kilometers from there. So they came and they helped me to lift. I just barely made it like 5 minutes before closing, and then I crossed the border. This is one example. I had many instances like this.
I mean, I can't even picture being that scenario. It's just amazing that you're sitting in front of me telling me all these stories after all that you've been through. And we've got more that we're diving into right here. The rhythm of the night. Well, the rhythm of the road is exactly what we're talking about right now. And getting back to this interview with Dr. Singara, I mean, motorcycling adventurer throughout the world, 37 countries within Africa so far. And, we're just chatting a little bit off air that your wife has visited you 4 times throughout your journey. You've helped so many kids back in India to receive an education. You have given talks in countless of universities across Africa. You're a motivational speaker as well. And we were talking about AI because you're PhD computer science, right? And that's amazing. And you've, of course, worked in Silicon Valley 3 decades plus. So just the wealth of knowledge you have is brilliant. Everybody's talking about AI. The fear around it's going to take jobs, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. What do you tell a student today who's in university in Africa trying to make it such that their future is as pre-planned in the most, longevity-esque way? How should they plan with AI in mind?
Yeah, that is very important thing that as a parent, as an university staff, and even government officials need to bring it up, because last few years that AI is getting a lot of attention and a lot of hype. So I spend my substantial speeches mainly in universities and even some companies about bringing the reality of AI. AI is not new. The first AI concept developed in 1970s. So the AI is happening several decades. There are neural network. The concept of AI is very long time ago. Then why suddenly that last 2 years so much of hype, so much of noise, so much of things? Because the AI technology is changed. The AI concept before had a limitation. It is a human created rule based AI. Now the major difference is a machine learning AI. What does that mean? For example, if you are sending a kid to college, so he's studying in electrical engineering. So he read many books, understanding the fundamental of electrical engineering, learn this, learn that, and then he's going into a job market, and some companies hiring him under the assumption that he learned electrical engineering, he have a fundamental, we have some need, he can do that.
Right.
So is he going to implement everything what he learned? No. Does he know everything what he needed for the job? No. So he is preparing, he has some foundation, he has some principle, and then we are employing it. Assume AI is a student who can learn not 10 books, not 100 books, not thousands of books, millions of books you gave, and this guy, the student, AI student, can learn everything from there, and he can give answer from the entire volume of data quickly. Does he have emotion? Does he have a knowledge? No. He have a huge processing power, because the resources compared to 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the computing power is phenomenal now. And the amount of data, because of the technology, the internet and everything available is huge. So the human cannot process all this data to come up with the logic and the answer. The AI model is nothing but another program. We have to assume that AI is when you see a picture, everybody put a robotic and the humanoid and all these things. It is nothing but another program, like all you are using, like Microsoft Word or Excel or anything. But it has a powerful algorithm where it can take a huge input of data and then analyze the data, and it can filter out and create an answer like a human.
So
it is all algorithm and logic, no human brain.
So there is no replacement, obviously, for the human element, the emotion, which is why this whole fear to you is not based in any kind of truth, essentially, that they will take all, the jobs in this industry or that industry.
So if you look back several decades when there is no calculator, there is a job called accounting, bookkeeping, all these things, right? How do they do the job? And then the calculator came. Did we lose the job?
No.
But people adapted.
Yeah.
People create a new way. That is the exact time that we are in. We were using, even before Internet 2000, that we go to every office, fill the form and then do everything. But now the same thing in online. Does it replaces the job? No. Same thing. AI is another powerful tool which is going to make the repetitive, the huge volume of data analysis and there's some of the logic that human brain cannot handle it. Those kind of things this tool can do way better than human being. So will it going to replace my job? AI is not going to replace your job, but someone who know AI will replace the job. That is the thing I wanted to emphasize. So instead of getting fear, intimidated and misleading, misguiding, all these things, understand what is the tool is doing and understand the fundamental. The biggest problem that I find out in Africa, even in many countries, as soon as they started using ChatGPT, a generative AI model, or some video processing or voice processing tool, they are thinking they know AI. And they are misunderstanding. You need to understand the concept. AI have no value without the proper data and proper modeling. So my suggestion to all technology people who are interested in AI, understand the fundamental. AI is nothing but a program, a model, which is capable of learning from a huge data. And without data, AI have no value. And if you try to understand AI without understanding the fundamental of data science, neural network, transformation, prompting, then you are trying to build a 10-story building without foundation. So that is the thing. You don't need to intimidate, but you cannot be left out. Learn what are all the current models. There is tons of models already launched since the AI hype started few years ago. And everybody thinks ChatGPT is the AI. ChatGPT is one of the model using AI. It is a generative AI model. Likewise, there is tons of them. So what it is going to happen is, in olden days when I started my programming, then everything in assembly language, then the structural language, C, C++, then object-oriented language, then service-oriented thing. These are a lot of technology happen behind the scene in a technology world. And all the program that you are using, they were developed using different technology along the way.
So like a building block.
Exactly. Now there is going to be more programs available using the AI concept, AI model, AI logic. Instead of using your Excel, there will be a lot of AI model will be integrated. So instead of you writing program, the AI is going to take care of the program.
Right.
So that is the changes it's going to start.
So it's not the end game, it is part of the process.
Exactly. So there are every decade, few decades, there will be a quantum leap, quantum jump in culture, technology, tradition, something. So in 2000, early 2000, e-commerce, everything e-commerce, lot of e-commerce, that created a 2000 .com bubble. So now we are in the same situation. Lot of AI and people are investing so much money into AI. It's creating a bubble. It's going to bust.
Will it bust is the big one.
Guaranteed, it's definitely.
So it's overvalued.
It is overvalued. This is the time, I think the lot of top technological leader, they already raised the concern. This is the time that there should be a consortium which need to create a regulation and then governance and the guardrail, and then bring the people to reality instead of, if you look at that, I just recently read some article, the AI hype of the stock market, the value of all the company who involve, if you go them, they are investing on each other. NVIDIA making lot of AI chip, and Oracle is ordering lot of chips, and then the NVIDIA is ordering lot of data cloud order to Oracle. So if you look at that, all the company, they are cycle. This guy investing on that guy investing on that, but everybody saying, oh, NVIDIA got an order of like 1 million chip, AI chip. Wow. And then the other side, that Oracle got an order of cloud space from NVIDIA, but Oracle is ordering chip from this guy, and this guy is ordering the cloud storage from other guy. These are all the market thing. So the normal people who are thinking of investing in AI, be careful, be sensible, because so much hype is going around, and this is a time. If you are not entered into this race at the right time, you will be hitting hard. So be sensible. That's what AI is, another technology like e-commerce, but in a different level, in a bigger level.
Brilliant. You know what? Unfortunately, that is such a scenario where I wish I could, like I said, sit for 5 hours with you. But as we wrap up, and you are continuing your biking journey while giving us so many gems and visiting so many schools as well and speaking to them, you've also written some books, right? So as we wrap up, tell us where you're going next, how that journey is going to go, the next continent, and where you're going to flow from there, and how can we find your books?
So a couple of my books which I have written already is in Amazon. One of them, Sound of Silence and Mesmerizing Dollar Dreams. These are all the English. I have written some book in Tamil which is not available in online. But after this trip, I'm going to write several books about Africa, the Indian diaspora in African history, especially West Africa. I have surprised. So when I entered Africa, I was really intimidated, especially in West Africa. But the Indian community, they embraced me, they supported me, gave me food, and they give me place to sleep, and all these things. And including in Kenya, last 10 days, the Indian community, oh my God, the hospitality they are showing. Especially that yesterday, the Riders Club 747 is predominantly the Indian team. They are like accepting me one among them. The love and the care, the hospitality, it is overwhelming. I'm really grateful, and thank you everyone. So I'm going to continue this journey towards Middle East. I know there is a lot of Indian people, but I'm not limiting within Indian. I have given several local community speeches. I meet a lot of community people. Wherever I go, I totally go with the open-minded. No judgment, no expectation. Whether it is good or bad, everything is an experience. There is no good experience or bad experience. That is the only way that you can overcome all the challenges that you are going with. And it is tough. It is really, really, really tough. But I'm growing, learning every day. Every day is, I just live at this moment, don't make too much plan. And I'm going to share my experience and the transformation during this travel, which is way valued than the several decades I spent in university and school. In the last 23 months, the things which I learned, there is no comparison. And I have met thousands and thousands of people. When I entered Africa, I had 2 contacts. Today, I have like several hundred, even thousands of contacts from the vice president, ministers, company owners, normal people. Everyone. I have everyone. And for me, everybody is same. And I'm really grateful. The humanity is really vibrant and alive. I face a lot of problems, but it's okay. Everything is an experience. And thank you for the wonderful opportunity to share some of my experience with the Nairobi audience. And it's a real honor, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you so, so much, Dr. Singara. It's been brilliant, a pleasure totally having you with us, and best of luck as your journey continues.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that.